My name is Michael Shikatano, and this is Right Here, Right Now, a podcast to inspire the learner inside each of us. In a world that is full of so much information, we will help find and package that information so that you can use it in your lives every day in practical ways. And in each episode, we will remind you of the importance of being present and mindful of your daily thoughts, actions, and interactions. It is truly the most vital step to learning and growth, being mindful and present right here, right now, to take on life's challenges and turn them into life's lessons. So come on this venture with us, a new beginning, a new journey that starts right here, right now. Welcome back, people. I am Michael Shikatano, your host of Right Here, Right Now, the brand new podcast that helps us all connect with each other, that helps us all integrate information from various forms and various inspirations, books, philosophy, psychology, other podcasts, some heroes of our day that write and teach and share with us. And they inspire me to hopefully do the same to each of you. Today, we're going to get a little bit emotional here for me. This one hits close to home. The inspiration for this episode has been through thoughts and messages and information that I felt compelled really to share with those close to me that are trying to manage their anxiety. So I reached out to a family member to help them through a more difficult bout of anxiety. And the messages, sometimes they're hard to really come up with the words to help somebody that's really, in a dark place, in a place that there's so much fear and uncertainty. And whether it's a faint sense of uneasiness or a deep sense of fear or panic even, please share your struggles with someone. Even just sharing can help the feeling of helplessness or hopelessness subside a bit. And I think people reaching out inspires some to help, because I think helping helps us all. It reminds me of a great quote about sharing. And it comes from D. Hock. This gentleman really inspired me. I read his autobiography, or I'm in the middle of reading it, Autobiography of a Restless Mind. So many beautiful maxims. He wrote them over about a decade when he was in his 70s and 80s and put it all together for a published book. He's the founder of Visa, and he's a modern day philosopher. And he says, grief shared is halved, happiness shared is doubled. Right? So grief shared, share that with someone else, is cut in half. Happiness shared is doubled. And we can really insert any negative emotion for grief here, right? Despair, suffering, and any positive emotion for happiness, right? Fun, curiosity, pleasure. And I love it. I love the thought and its simplicity. And I might dedicate an entire episode to some of his quotes and his maxims, which is really all this book contains. And I'll read them one day, some of my favorites on an episode. So today, my message to those suffering from anxiety is excerpted from an actual message I sent to a family member. Really, it starts this episode, inspired me for this episode. And that person needed some support with their anxiety. And it began this way. I can only imagine how it feels right now. I know it can't be easy. I know that getting through some days seems like a battle with no victors, just survivors. But let's see if we can help ourselves out a bit. Let's attempt to figure out what the emotions are trying to tell us, what anxiety might be trying to tell you in its darkest moments, what its utility might be in various situations. We have to think of anxiety in the context of what it was designed to do, maybe in terms of its evolutionary advantage it served us with, why it visits us from time to time, or too much of the time. Anxiety is and should be thought of more the mind's way of informing us that something new and uncertain and even uncomfortable is upon us. It's a warning of some perceived threat or danger, an indication that we must pay attention to the information that is coming in. And at the very least, we feel that we are out of balance. At its worst, we feel like we can't take another breath. We must try to understand and even employ the anxiety to help you realize that what you must do is meet each challenge as it arises, not a moment too soon or a moment much later. No matter how insignificant the challenge is in reality, no matter how conflated the challenge may be in your mind, even if the challenge that you face seems overwhelming, even if getting out of bed seems a pointless undertaking, even if getting out the door seems impossible, let's see how you can take those first small steps, how just some action with reflection can reassure you that you will be okay. And this reflection is not rumination here. Think reflection. You can think of it as ruminating with purpose and intention, even. And the reflection is that it will be okay. Of course, this takes an enormous amount of presence and mindfulness, strength and courage, and we must begin to do something that seems counterintuitive here. We must lean into the anxiety in order to help understand it, comprehend it, and feel it in an intimate way to ensure that we can then grapple with the underlying sensation that anxiety is alerting us to. So often the anxiety is accompanied by, maybe even led by, a physical sensation of discomfort, an uneasy stomach, pressure in your chest, a fluttering heart, lightheaded, dizzy, restlessness, rapid breathing, or hot flashes. It is these symptoms, these physical symptoms, that will be the target of the mindful breathing that we will come to learn about, that will help so much right here, right now. So, to bring ourselves back to the present moment and learn to embrace the physical symptoms that come with anxiety, we can look to our breath. Being mindful of the breath allows us to slow down. Slowing down is so profoundly impactful here, people. So much has been attributed to the benefits of a mindful, deep breath, or two, or more. So this will be something fun and exciting here, meaningful, purposeful. I'm going to read out to you a blurb about the benefits of a mindful, deep breath, and I will leave a pause after each one for you to soak up that information with a nice, slow, deep breath in and out of your own. Let's have some fun right here, right now. Let's go, people. So mindful breathing sends a message to your brain that everything will be okay and that you can get through these difficult things. You will need to pay attention to this to help with the positive feedback loop. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing decreases tension, stress, and anxiety. So much of what we feel in our minds actually comes from our body, right? Again, where do we usually feel the anxiety build up? This tension being released tells your mind that we are okay. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing grows the thoughtful prefrontal cortex part of your brain. This is where we can make better decisions if we slow ourselves down. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing helps you to solve problems and find solutions. It harnesses your creativity here, people. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing helps you to feel more calm and capable. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing clears up foggy thinking and improves memory, attention, focus, and concentration. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing decreases blood pressure and slows down your heart rate. And this is wonderful, especially in the midst of a fight or flight response that anxiety so often provokes. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing improves self-control. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing improves your immune response, keeping you stronger and healthier. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. Mindful breathing acts like a pause or reset button, moving you out of a fight, flight, freeze state into a relaxed and responsive state. And this is what allows you to not react, but respond, to not zoom down a path that you'll regret, to slowly and deliberately make decisions that will help you, and then help you notice the response and the result of these decisions. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. And what's so wonderful about this is I'm reading these off one by one. They're all happening with every deep breath in, with every deep breath out, done purposely, intentionally to slow you down. We can pause and take these mindful and stabilizing breaths in the moments that we feel like we need them most, and remind ourselves that this is an adaptive response to keep us safe. We can do this perhaps with a mantra, maybe something like, "We got this," or "This will be okay." Or even asking ourselves, let's see what this is all about here, right? This curious spirit riding the wave of anxiety to help us realize that there is nothing real to dread but the uncertainty of the next moment. The next moment comes. We are present in that moment and we see that we are okay. Then the next moment, and guess what? We notice with a mindful approach that we are okay. And most critically, we're mindful of this cycle of noticing and being aware of being okay in each of these seemingly dreadful moments. This is how we push through. You hear that a lot, right? It's not easy, but breaking it up into tiny parts from moment to moment, being present and aware in each of these moments, using our mindful breathing habits that we know will take some practice, perhaps a lot of practice. This is what we must set out to do to help us to realize we can overcome the obstacle of anxiety and the often incapacitating reactions and habits that it may lead to. We got this, right? Let's translate that. We can overcome the obstacle if we break it down into small enough and seemingly more surmountable pieces with a mindful presence and an open heart and a compassionate and curious approach to our experiences and our minds and our hearts. Notice that you are okay. Realize you will be okay. Find someone that will help remind you that it will all be okay. Wake up, people. Next on Right Here, Right Now, we will be talking sleep. And we'll discover why it is likely the most important and vastly neglected function of our species. We will learn how and why getting better sleep has the potential to improve not only your heart health, immune system functioning, brain health, but also your creativity, problem solving, decision making, learning, memory, mental health, emotional well-being, and even your lifespan. We will take many facts and insights from Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams, and discuss how he believes and will persuade each of us that the decimation of sleep throughout industrialized nations is having a catastrophic impact. And it is propagated by a lack of attention to the harmful effects of poor sleep. Bring your curious spirit along on this next episode, and let's learn and grow and be mindful of why we sleep and how we can get better at it and how we can then harness its true power right here, right now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time, right here, right now.